So we unlocked the bird heirloom. That's pretty sweet. Let's see if we can get Bloodhound's other heirloom. Now, I've been praying about this day, so let's see. Moses, what? One afternoon last summer, I was walking with one of my new buddies that I just made in the state that I moved to our other buddy's birthday party. So we had pre-gamed a little bit, feeling confident, feeling loose, feeling silly like a goose. And he had gotten wind that I was a Christian, and he was agnostic or atheist himself. But you know, I'd like told our other friends, some other friends in our group are also Christian. But he knew me well and just kind of wanted to pick my brain a little bit. I don't think he was going like the persecution route because he didn't like come at me with any sort of malice energy. I didn't feel like any ill intent behind it. But he did seem like almost annoyed that I was like a confirmed religious person. And it's almost like he wanted to prove a point. Or maybe he just wanted to get into some sort of debate mindset. He points over at the cars and points over at the highway and the roads, and he's like, so do you think God made that? So if God made the earth, do you think God made that? And I was like, well, it came from the earth, so he provided the tools and things necessary to make it happen, right? He created the earth. He was like, oh, sure, but what about the men that built it? Do they get any credit? I was like, yeah, of course. But we're made in God's image, right? And some of the things that those guys do is intense. I couldn't go in and work a blue collar job like they do. I cut grass for like a summer in high school. And even then I quit because my Nikes got grass stains all over them. I hated it. I didn't like being covered in oil and smelling like gasoline and having the sun beat down. I can't even play golf for a whole 18 holes. I get so gassed from it and I don't know why. Anyway, there's several jobs that I look at and realize like, wow, I cannot do that. And that's like God's diversification of us. We're all made in his image. And if you look around at like the way that the world has developed, fantasizing about all the capabilities that people around us have is super impressive. But anyway, there's some gorgeous buildings, and yeah, those guys deserve credit. But at the same time, it's like look how almost perfect that design is. Isn't that incredible? Does that not look like a work of art, like a work of God's architecture or his grace? I mean, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. And if we're made in his image, that means we're capable of doing some insane stuff. So I rebutted with him and I asked, so what about when you watch a snowboarder? What about it? They train for hours and hours. I'm like, yeah, you could also train for hours and hours and years. And you'll never be half as good. I won't be half as good. Neither of us would be half as good as a pro skier. Some people have born talents. I think everyone is born with a God-given talent or a gift. You know, you might not be able to go skydiving and push your adrenal glands to the maximum, but maybe you were meant for that. Maybe you're more of an intellectual. Maybe you're more of a social guy, likes to make people laugh or something. I don't know. Who knows what you're good at? So that one got him thinking a little bit, but then I hit him with a power play. I stroked his ego and used him as an example to reveal God's presence in his life and how his fingerprints are all over him. He didn't even realize it. So he's one of those that likes to freestyle rap over beats, and it actually sounds good and palpable. He'll go ahead and record it and just play around. And he would just do it for fun. Like, he wasn't even trying. He would just enjoy doing it. He wasn't there to like impress anyone for it. And there's people that think that they can freestyle, and then there's people that can actually do it, and it's really a treat to be around. I also brought up his Rocket League skills. I love Rocket League. I've been playing it for years. I stopped a few years ago because I'm so annoyed with how people play, but I digress. Watching him play for the first time was so impressive. You know how like when it comes to games that you play or something that you're good at, when you meet someone else in person that's equally as good as you or better, it's one, a stroke to the ego, two, how did you do that, and three, teach me. I'll pay you. I think I actually did pay for Rocket League coaching. I did. Not from him, but I did. So I was just sitting there talking to him about, you know, the skills that he's got and really trying to leverage it. And I was pushing into it and saying things like, dude, like, I don't think I'll ever be able to be that good at Rocket League. And he's all, you can practice. And I'm like, but guess what? There's only one person in the world that I know that's, you know, as cool and chill as you. He lives a holy life. He doesn't even realize it. He's a very genuine, kind person. Who's also good at freestyling on rap beats. Who's great at wakeboarding. Like, good at all these things and inhumanely good at some of them. Like, unnaturally good. And when I brought that emphasis to it, he was like, huh. Yes, it is like the first game that I've really been sick at. I'm like, don't you enjoy it? He's like, it's my favorite thing to do after work. I'm like, doesn't that show you something? Doesn't that show you like at least a little bit of heaven on earth? You know, you can live in both worlds on earth. You just have to choose what to see more. What you think about, what you talk about, and what you do will help you on that path, I think. If you look for the negative, you'll see the negative. If you look for reasons to not believe, you'll find reasons not to believe. And I think in that moment, wisdom that I had no business understanding or wielding came out of me. And I articulated myself in a way that I didn't think I would have been able to. And I firmly believe it's because it wasn't me talking the whole time. It was the Holy Spirit.